Hello everyone and welcome to today's video. So today I'm going to be reviewing Tenet, an amazing new film by Christopher Nolan. Now, the reason I'm going to be reviewing this is because it comes out a week earlier where I live than where almost everywhere else in the world. Because I live in Australia and Australia's pretty good and we don't have much coronavirus with us. So yeah, it's going to be pretty epic because I get to see it a week early. So I'm going to be doing a full review of the movie for you without any spoilers, which is pretty epic. If you enjoyed this video, please leave a like and subscribe and go check out my Hypermelon merch. The link is in the description. Alright, I'm going to go watch a movie and yeah, tell you guys about it later. See ya! Wow, so I just saw Tenet and let me tell you, it was pretty insane. So now I'm going to review the movie for all of you guys. So first of all, I'll just do some of the kind of boring stats. So it was directed by Christopher Nolan, who happens to be my favorite director. This is his 22nd film. Christopher Nolan has also directed other major movies including Interstellar, Inception, and the Dark Knight trilogy. With a budget of $255 million US, $250 million, it was a pretty expensive movie to make, and it's his most expensive to date. The cast was pretty good. It included Michael Caine, who's been in 8 of Christopher Nolan's films, so that was no surprise there. John Washington, who was the main character, and Kenneth Branagh, who was the bad guy, Russian evil guy. Because, you know, for some reason, Russians are the bad guys in almost every movie. What I thought about was interesting about the main character, who, John Washington, is his name was never stated during the whole film. During the entire film, he was only ever referred to as the protagonist. He even referred to himself as the protagonist a few times. Anyway, so now let's talk about the main bit, what I thought of the entire movie. First of all, I'm going to show you this quick 30-second trailer, just so that you guys, you know, so I can relate this back to something to you guys. Alright, so here's the 30-second trailer. 3, 2, 1, boom!
You're not shooting the bullet. You're catching it.
Whoa. To do what I do, I need some idea of the threat we face.
It's inverted. Someone's manufacturing them in the future.
All I have for you is a word. Tenet.
Coming to theaters. Watch the new trailer online.
Pretty good trailer, right? That was only a 30-second short one. Most of the actual trailers are 2 to 3 minutes. This was just a real short one where I could point out a few things to you. Alright, so first of all, there's going to be a little bit of spoilers, not any major spoilers, just I'm going to tell a few little spoilers about what the movie is about. So if you don't want to hear about it, you've got 5 seconds to click away. 5, 4, 3, 2, 1. Okay, let's get into it. So, the idea behind the movie is that someone in the future has found an algorithm where you can make objects move back in time. So, this process in the movie is called inversion. So, by example, at the very start of that trailer, the protagonist is told by a lady that you're not shooting the bullet, you're catching it. What is happening? He is shooting an inverted bullet. So, instead of shooting the bullet, and the bullet coming out of his gun, the bullet is coming out of the wall and going back into his gun. If you play this scene in reverse, it appears as if he is shooting the bullet. Hence, the time is reversed for the bullet, but not for everything else. So to him, it looks like the bullet's coming back into his gun. To the bullet, it looks like the bullet, since it's traveling back in time, it looks like it's coming out of his gun. It's pretty confusing, but when you see the movie, it makes much more sense. Anyway, so the movie experiments with this idea that certain objects will be able to move back in time, and you know, they move themselves back in time and different objects back in time. It's an insane movie. Overall, Christopher Nolan in this movie put more effort into the action than the plot of this movie. Still put a lot of effort into it, but more effort was gone into the action. So I would rate it 7 out of 10 for plot. Tenet, I would rate 7 out of 10 for plot, as it was a little bit confusing, but it was still pretty good. Now let's talk about the action in the film. The action in this movie was absolutely epic. One of the final scenes, which I won't talk about much because there's a few spoilers in there, is my favorite action sequence of all time. In another action scene, he flies a real Boeing 747 into a building, in real life. They got a real Boeing 747 and flew it into a building. It's insane. That was even in the trailer. So almost no CGI was used. It was amazing. It had my favorite scene of all time, fight action scene. My favorite fight action scene of all time was in this movie. And yeah, I won't tell you much about the action because I would accidentally give some stuff away, but overall, for action, I would give this movie 9 out of 10. Pretty insane. Now let's talk about the editing and production. The editing was top notch in this. There's a few different famous clips where people have tried to experiment with everything moving back in time except one thing. For example, COLDPLAY did a famous music video where everything was going back in time and he was singing and walking around in forward time. It's so difficult to edit this that in what they ended up doing for COLDPLAY was they ended up moving him having to learn to sing and walk backwards. And then they just reversed it and it looked like he was going forwards. So it is exceedingly difficult. And the fact that Christopher Nolan's editors managed to do all of that with actual editing, with like thousands of people at the same time and thousands of different objects is amazing. So it would have been almost impossible to pull it off, but they did, so props to the editors, their editing was amazing. Overall, Tenet was an insane movie with a good cast, a good plot, and even greater effects. It is sure to be a film that will break records. It is one of my new favourite films of all time. Overall, I would rate Tenet 9 out of 10. I would 100% recommend you see it when it comes out on September the 3rd for most of the world. And yeah, I would definitely recommend it. But there you will go. Hope you go and see it. And yeah, let's get into the outro. Thanks for watching.